JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the last trading day for this month. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yes, check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So now then, jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. And yep, just a quick update. To be honest, not much has happened, and to be honest, we have just we traded slightly in the red. We closed slightly in the red, and we remained near the 21-day EMA right here. So, in other words, for now, we're still the same analysis remains. We're keeping an eye on this barrier, the 28,565 territory, in order to consider the downside, and for the upside, yes, we need to see the same clear break here through the 29,519 territory right here in order to consider some higher levels. I can see in chat room here, good morning Evu to you too. So yep, basically jumping into the charts here further, the Shanghai Composite, we have drifted lower, but then we found support near this 21-day EMA, and this is what I talked about yesterday, that although we broke the short-term upside line, still there is a chance for the buyers kind of to step in somewhere near that 21-day EMA and drag the index higher. But so far, I mean, yes, we're getting only one part of that idea. We're getting a little hold up near the 21-day EMA. So let's see if we can actually rebound and make our way a little bit further north. Now, another thing to keep in mind here, and this is just an idea, a rough idea, because it might not work out, but just for you to keep in mind, of course, that if, for example, if this is where we're going to reverse and this is where we're going to, let's say from here we will make a move higher, then, well, we'll get ourselves maybe somewhat of a inverted head and shoulders pattern right here. So with the left shoulder being here, the right one being here, and then, yep, the neckline would be around the 3,626 territory. But again, that's still something for, like, still is a food for thought. That's why for now we're just gonna keep a close eye on this 21-day EMA, which if continues to provide support, then yes, a nice rebound here could be possible. So let's see how that's going to play out. Now jumping into the German index DAX, and yeah, this is where it popped higher, and we broke this we broke this little triangle pattern, and we broke it through the upside, and of course this kind of now increases the chances for a further move north. However, let me just quickly take a look at the at the cash index. Let me just bear with me one moment. So yep, we'll see that the price is currently trading at around 15,674 territories. So basically, it's near this hurdle, the one that I talked about, the barrier, the high of the 23rd of June, and yeah, we for now let's keep an eye on this one. If we stay above it, then yes, higher levels could be met. Even if it drifts back down, to be honest, looking at this picture, I mean, even if it drifts back down, there is still a chance for the bulls to step in near this upside support line taken from the low of the 26th of February. So yep, then we could still consider maybe higher levels. But if it suddenly starts breaking this upside line and falls below this, below this upside line, then yes, some lower levels here could be met. But at the moment, let's see how all this is going to play out here. Now jumping into S&P 500. So yesterday created a new all-time high. So that's so that's good news for the buyers. However, again, don't get me wrong. I mean, the more we test, the more we test the all-time highs. I mean, the greater the chance that we could see maybe a bit of a reversal at some point. So at the moment, I would say yes, we had a nice push here. We've tested this barrier right here. This is the new all-time high right now, the 4,300 zone. And looking at the cash index right now, we'll see that the price is actually correcting a little bit lower, and we're trading near the 4,293 zone. So yeah, if I would say like this, that if we stay below the 4,300 zone, then yes, there is a chance for a drift lower, especially taking into consideration that it seems that we might have formed a doji here, which, of course, according to all the TA rules, tends to break to the downside. Oh, sorry, not to break, but tends to be a reversal signal. But again, will that happen? Let's see. Let's keep an eye on today's trading, because if we climb above the 4,300 zone, then, well, we could skip that reversal idea and instead, aim for further upside. But if we continue to trade below the 4,300 zone, then yes, another slide here could be possible. So let's keep that in mind. But again, that slide, as long as we stay above this upside line right here, taken from the low of the 4th of March, then, well, I mean, this slide could be seen as part of a bit of a larger correction here to the downside before another possible move higher. So let's see how that's going to play out, guys. For now, again, I'm keeping an eye on the 4,300 zone. If we clear that one, then yes, the higher levels could be met. But if we continue to trade below it, then maybe we could see a bit of a corrective move to the downside, of course. Nasdaq took the spotlight, and it created a new all-time high. It traveled higher, and basically what I talked about recently, that I was telling you to keep an eye on this little trading area right here between the 14,337 to 14,429 levels, that I said that if one of those gets broken, then yes, the next short-term directional move could be possible in that direction, in the direction of the breakout. And that's what we got. We got the breakout here through the 14,429, and we traveled higher and tested the area near the 14,575 territory. That's the new all-time high. But as we know, in the cash index, we have a little bit of a higher level than that. So, but again, let's see how today's day is going to trade out. Going to trade, but for now, yes, it's, as long as it stays above this upside line, even if it declines here, yes, there is still a good chance for the bulls to step in somewhere around here. But again, like I said, let's not exclude the possibility of maybe seeing a bit of a corrective move to the downside. DXY, the dollar index, so we drifted nicely to the upside, stayed above the 92 territory, and now it seems that the index wants to continue pushing higher. for now, I mean, I would say it's pretty straightforward, to be honest, at this point in time, because as long as it stays above the 92 territory, we'll continue targeting the upside. Even if it drifts a little bit lower, then there is the last chance for the bulls to step in somewhere near this 200-day EMA and then push it higher. But if that gets clear, then the index starts falling below the 91.81 zone right here. Then yes, we could consider maybe a bit of a decline here, a larger correction to the downside. Silver drifted and broke the lower side of the triangle. I said to you that yesterday, and I've mentioned this, that that basically whenever we and this is what I said, like I said, this is what I said in my yesterday's video when I was covering silver, that whenever we start forming something like a range or a triangle pattern, and the prevailing trend before entering that pattern was, let's say, for example, in this situation to the downside, then there is a larger chance that we could see a breakout through the lower side. Of course, the opposite happens as well, but according to all the TA rules, then yes, breakout to the downside is the more likely option. However, what I said to you previously, that in order to get comfortable with lower levels, then yep, I need to see a drop below that 25.71 territory, and I would like to see the daily candle staying below it. Yesterday we only got the drop, but we didn't really get the the daily candle staying below this area. So for now, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside, but I'm going to be very, very careful here. And my next target will only be the 200-day EMA for now. Now, jumping into gold, the gold also drifted to the downside, yes, and it fell and stayed below this 1764.65 territory right here. This is what I said to you guys, that if it stays below it, then the upward declines are possible. This is where I'm going to be aiming for right now. I'm going to be aiming for this upside support line taken from the low of the let me just adjust this very quickly. There we go. So this upside support line taken from the low, the 20th of May of 2019, guys. So I want to see if this is going to provide good support or not, and yeah, then we'll take it from there. Maybe we'll get a nice rebound, or maybe we'll continue sliding, but we'll just have to wait and see. So for now, long story short, for now the game plan is to aim for the for that upside support line taken from the low, the 20th of May of 2019, guys. Jumping into WTI oil, so we had a nice beautiful rebound again. So yeah, this is a bit of an interesting one, I would say. So continues to trade above this upside line taken from the low, the 27th of May. So yep, in a way for now, I would say that as long as that upside line continues to provide support, then yes, we could aim for the upside again. But to be honest, be very careful, guys. If suddenly we see DXY jumping heavily to the upside again, then well, I mean, WTI, it could take its negative effect on WTI oil here, and we could see maybe even a drop and a break of this upside line. But for now, so far the upside line continues to provide support. If it continues to do that, then yes, we could continue aiming higher. But if the upside line gets broken, then guys, yep, we'll consider the downside. Bitcoin, so still tricky. We are still trading below a few of these downside lines. So one of which is this one, the short-term, or actually more of a, yeah, that's a short-term tentative downside resistance line taken from the high of the 14th of April, and we're trading below this other downside line, again another tentative one. Don't really focus on it too much because again, I've drawn this one just because it kind of comes in line with the 200-day EMA right here. So it might not work out. So for now, I'm just going to keep it to see if actually if it is going to work out or not. But like I said, at the moment, it's probably even more tentative than this tentative downside line. But again, let's see. That's why I would rather stick to some of the support and resistance levels. So for the upside, I need to see a nice good push above the 36,457, somewhere around here level, and for the downside, I would need to see a drop below the psychological 30,000 mark in order to consider lower levels. Ripple, so also stuck here below this downside resistance line, taken from the high of the 20th of May. You can see that it's providing a good hold up. At the same time, the crypto is trading above this upside line, taken from the low the 29th of December 2020. So basically, we can say that we are currently getting into a little bit of a squeeze here. So yep, we'll be waiting for that breakout to see where it's going to break out first of all, of course. But for the upside, I would probably still need to see a push somewhere above this barrier. But actually, let me just redraw this a little bit, because I think that we might, it would be enough to keep an eye on this little level, the 0.7338 zone, which this level right here, which actually, if we get a break through that level, this is the high of yesterday. At the same time, we might see, first of all, a break of this downside line and a push above the 21-day EMA, and potentially this could attract more buyers. But again, be very careful. Maybe more buyers actually could come still on a break above the 0.7910 zone right here, which coincides with the 200-day EMA. For the downside, now here it's a little bit an interesting one, and of course the preferred level is the 0.5125 territory, but I do understand that we might be missing out maybe on a bit of territory here, so maybe we'll start looking at lower levels already from here, from the 0.5819 territory marked by the low of the 26th of June, and then yes, we could consider a bit of a move to the downside here. Now, AUDCHF. So, looking at this, I talked about this pair, and I told you to keep a close eye on this one, because we were close to this downside line yesterday, and I said that even if we break the downside line, still I would need to see a push above the 0.6981 territory right here in order to get a little bit more comfortable with the upside. And for the downside, I would need to see a drop below this little territory, the 0.6892 zone, marked by the current lowest point of June, because again, we still have one trading day in June left, so let's see if we're not going to create a lower low here, a new low for June. So yeah, for now, let's keep an eye on the 0.6892 zone right here. USDCHF, so also something that I talked about, and I said yesterday that basically if this is forming a possible bullish flag here, or bullish pennant, still a breakout through this barrier here would be needed, through this 0.9239 level, in order to or even this 0.9245 territory, basically, in other words, the 0.9240 territory. If we clear that level, then yep, higher levels could be met, because this would confirm a forthcoming higher high. For the downside, now this is where I'll have to redraw a few levels, and for the downside I'll stick to this little area, the 0.9142, because at the same time, if we drop below that, we might see a drop below the 200-day EMA, and potentially this could attract more sellers. USD JPY very quickly, so still drifting lower, but for now this move lower is considered as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying, if this upside support line continues to hold. If it breaks, obviously, yep, lower levels could be met, and we could start aiming for the downside here. But for now, guys, I mean, long story short, basically, there's not much to talk about here. It's just that currently this little move here is classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. But if you're a little bit more on the cautious side, then if you want to be careful, then you could wait for a pop up of the 110.97 territory right here, or in a way this 111 territory, in order to get a little bit more comfortable with the upside, and then yes, we could aim further north. GBP CAD very quickly on this, so yep, drifted back up here. However, again, at the moment this is classed as a temporary correction, because we're still trading below this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 24th of February. Now, if it continues to provide a hold up here, if continues to provide resistance, then certainly yes, another slide could be possible. However, if we break this downside line, what I would like to see here is actually a push above the 1.7260 territory right here, marked by the current highest point of June, in order to get comfortable with higher levels, because such a move here would confirm forthcoming higher high, and not only that, we would be placed back above all of the EMAs here. So yeah, let's see how that's going to play out, guys. For now, long story short, we will keep an eye on this downside line because it might get tested again. First, we can get rid of this upside support line, no longer valid. But yeah, if this downside line continues to provide a hold up, yep, another slide could be possible. Now, euro against the South African rand, and I do look at these exotic pairs sometimes because they do present themselves with nice opportunities. And here, for example, I'll reuse this highlighted area later. But here, for example, you can see that we managed to break this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 29th of March. So basically, there is a bit of hope that more buyers could join in. However, right now, probably I'll have to redraw some levels here. I'll remove those. These were from the past here. But now what I'm going to look at is, let me just quickly grab this level here. So what I'm going to look at is the current highest point of June, near the 17.1057, approximately around here. And if we clear that, then yes, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and potentially more buyers could join in. So basically, this one's quite an interesting one to watch right now. Yes, we broke the downside line, but that doesn't really mean yet that we could go further north. I mean, that's just maybe the first step. The next step is to see a nice good confirmation break above this 17.1057 level. Of course, we can also draw some upside lines right here to show that we have a nice little upside line here. Yes, we can keep that for now, just for the sake of it. But again, if you would like to consider the lower levels, then certainly a drop below the current lowest point of this week, near the 16.7717 level here, would be needed. In terms of the upside, by the way, even if you push higher, be very careful. We do have this other downside line which could play out, could maybe provide a bit of a hold up. So if we want to aim for some higher levels, yes, we could if we clear this barrier right here, but then be very careful near this downside line. Although it's a bit of a tentative downside line, still it could provide a bit of resistance. But if that gets cleared, of course, then yes, higher levels could be met. EURUSD. Similar story here, also climbing higher. We're approaching this, actually we've already approached the 200-day EMA. The breakout to the upside, that's the level I'm going to keep an eye on. That's the current highest point of June at the 1.5873 territory. If we clear that, then yes, we will aim for the upside. Initially, I'm going to target the highest point of January. Let me just double check if this is actually, no, that's not the highest point of January. The high of the 28th of January of this year. The highest point of this year is actually right here at 1.6030 level, approximately around here. Now, again, like I said, if we want to aim for the upside, yes, first of all, we'll keep an eye on this 200-day EMA. If we climb above it, higher levels could be met, but then just keep your eyes on that 1.5873 territory. That's the level that I'm going to be needing in order to get comfortable with higher levels. And finally, EURUSD. So yeah, kind of drifted nicely to the downside here, fell below this 1.1925 territory. I spoke about this level. It drifted lower, but didn't really reach the 1.1847 zone, so got a hold up somewhere around here. So this kind of raises concerns for me now. I mean, will we actually see that further decline? Because we're seeing that the oscillators are kind of have flattened out here a little bit. So that's why I would say yes, overall I'm still gonna remain bearish, but now in order to consider the downside, let's say in the near term, I would like to see a drop below yesterday's low near the 1.1877. If that gets clear, then my next target is the current lowest point of June near the 1.1847, and then we'll take it from there. But at the moment, like I said, this is the level that I'm keeping an eye on. If we clear that, then yes, lower levels could be met. For the upside, now we would like to see a push above the 1.1943 territory right here. That would place the rate above the 200-day EMA, and yep, we could then aim for further upside. However, as I mentioned to you previously, that we will be very careful near this lower side of the falling channel, because if that provides resistance, then yes, another slide here could be possible. If we climb back above this lower side of the falling channel, then yes, we could consider maybe a bit of a move to the upside here, at least in the near term. So guys, that's it for this session. I hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. Thank you very much for joining in. I really appreciate your views, your likes, your comments, guys. We really do. So I really thank you on that. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, that's as always 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. So thank you very much, and bye-bye.